Welcome back, everybody, to the LCS Challengers League promotion tournament, where we are here with our Subway Best of 3 sidekick. Now, just like Subway has all those sidekicks that you can get, the foot-long pretzels, the foot-long cookies, sometimes we need a sidekick here in this game to try and get us through and get these teams, Blue Otter and Mirage Alliance specifically, through another stage of the promotion tournament. So, Cubby, we're each going to pick a champion. What do we want to see here in Fearless?
I'll be honest, after this game, I'm picking the footlong out of my fridge to eat to get me through today's cast. I've been 100% honest with that. But in terms of champs and what I want to see, I've been kind of memeing all year about Yorick, because I feel like Yorick is just... Ooh. If you look at the numbers of this champion and what it does, I don't think that people will take the time to actually put it in competitive, but... It's one of the better win rates against Rex. I'm just going to throw it out there as like a potential angle. And also, Alorum used to be known for Yorick, but I'm going to, jokingly say Yorick. But on a more serious note, I want to see Dardoch Graves. I think Dardoch's Graves used to be so nasty. And him and Saligo, they used to run that with Dignitas. It was really good in the meta back then. I would love to see a Graves pick. I thought his Marksman Kindred was really big for this next game. And who knows, maybe we get a sneaky Graves.
What a throwback, man.
Yeah.
The Graves back on, like... That was like when Dardoch was going through the ADC champion pool challenge, right? In LCS, he was playing one of everything. Had a Graves game in there as well.
Oh yeah.
I did like the carry look better this time around, and Dardoch really was able to make it seem like maybe he should have been playing jungle the whole time.
Well, I will say I thought his engaged sports were strong, but yeah, when you put up Kindred games like that, that's a good argument. As Kindred continues to be the CEO of this double, Kindred just runs every draft we see Kindred pretty much.
All right. Well, for me,
what do you got?
I'm thinking. Also towards Mirage Alliance, and there's a lot of players here who have like very unique champion pools, but the one that sticks out, of course, is Alorum. You're in this game 3. Depending on what the side select is, you're likely going to see what Lawrence is going to be playing first. I wasn't going to say the Urgot, but that's a good shout out. He plays that a lot. Lawrence plays a lot of tanks. He plays like the Cassante, things like a Scion or Orin might come out. I want to see Trundle Top come through for Alorum. This is something that he played a lot of back on like Zeus Gaming in like 2021. It really does good into tanks. It split pushes really well if you have either the Triforce or the Hullbreaker or both. And in a game where, side lanes actually became a bit of a factor in that last one of Blue Otter splitting to take some other like inner structures, maybe the Trundle could come back in here and be a side lane menace for Mirage.
Yeah, I mean, that's something where I would not be surprised if I see a Trundle out of Alorum. I'm not surprised when I see any champ out of Alorum, really, at this point.
Yeah.
It's Alorum. Just have faith that he can play it, And hey, backs up against the wall. This is really the comfort zone for Mirage Alliance, in a sense. This is how they got through the last promotion tournament. These players are experienced, and I want to see how Blue Otters can deal with it. Because I feel like we've actually seen some good gameplay out of Blue Otters in these first 2 games. Like, I know they were behind in that last game, but I appreciated how they were willing to trade on the map and really stick to their guns. They knew they couldn't fight around the Jinx, so they tried to play away from it. And it was moderately successful. And some of those fundamentals can be really big when going into Game 3, just knowing that, hey, we did do this well in Game 2 despite not having a lead. So what kind of adjustments can we make to maybe put ourselves in a better spot in that mid-game that I thought Blue Otters managed decently well?
You mentioned carry jungler for Dardoch. I'd also like to see a little agency put towards music again. I thought he looked really good on the Jax. The Sejuani, he was lagging behind a little bit. If you're the one trying to make these plays and be that big shot caller for the squad, I don't know if Sejuani duty is where I'd want him to be.
I mean, Music is someone that, as you highlighted, he's willing to fill any role in the team. Music does have a lot of experience under his belt. And I do just want to highlight real quick. I know that our names at the moment, we have some double Mirage Alliance. I'm going to assume, seeing the Zoe ban and also the Jinx taken away that Mirage Alliance just played in the last game, that they are on blue side. We have seen junglers be 5-picked both of these drafts on red side. It was Music's Jax 5-pick into that Kindred. So we were talking going into this draft, do Blue Otters swap back to red side? They have done so. And I'm wondering what kind of duo that we get from Dardoch and Saligo, because that game 2 was much better than game 1, which I think kind of broke through bot lane, but still, just the approach they had, I thought was a lot stronger.
It's very similar bans across the board, actually, still. The Orianna Azir has been very consistent in this first phase for Blue Otter. It does mean that Samikin's also not able to play it, and this is also another champion that I had my mind on. The Zeri was something that Neil also played super well throughout Summer Split, but Varus is now open, and now that is going into the hands of the player that was one of the biggest carries for Mirage in their win.
I'm wondering what the Zeri ban was for. Like, what kind of matchup they wanted bot that Zeri was the problem in. Because this is one for me where Varus was denied from Neo the first couple games. And also, I do want to highlight, another champ that was denied from Lawrence the first couple games was that Rumble. Varus isn't a mobile carry, so Rumble being locked in for Lawrence, we saw him find a victory on this the other day against a Cassante top. It was Denethor's Cassante. A pretty damn good one, if I do say so myself. Lawrence had a massive game.
Yeah, it was the best game I've seen from Lawrence, at least in the early game, like all split. And we came here in the promotion tournament when it mattered the most. This guy, very strong on this Rumble pick, and it's going to be paired alongside a champion that can keep opponents in that equalizer with a lot of hard crowd control. It's going to be an Alistar on 1-2.
It's funny because usually I just scream for Braum if I see Alistar here with a Varus, but you can't pick it. It was taken last game by Prismal. So curious if we still see that Nautilus, just given that Nautilus is a very strong champion. It will likely be banned away from Prismal, or go for something like a Thresh. You can kind of cancel the combo from Alistar, and also you would give Varus movement in a way to get out of a potential Rumble ult coming in. But on the top side, we do have Sion for Alorum, one of the picks in Rumble. I will say Sion, it was a matchup being played in the Rumble earlier in the season, and it did receive some buffs.
Yeah, it neutralizes the Rumble at least a little bit, but it's still going to be Lawrence having the upper hand in the early trades, in the laning phase, and it's going to be up to Alorum to just kind of hope he's able to get through the early parts of this game and be bigger in team fights. And remember, this is Alorum, like gatekeeper Alorum that we always talk about. He's somebody who always is either very solid and kind of is able to knock down some of these newer people trying to rise up to the occasion, and he has an opportunity to do that again in a matchup that I would say probably not super favored in.
It is one, though, where I think the buffs they gave to Sion were actually really significant. Because his Q, it does more minimum damage on top of maximum damage in terms of total AD. And then also the W, they boosted up that max health W by 4% at rank 5. And that is a big scaler for Sion, who gets free max health from the W passive. Also likely to go potentially overgrowth that can stack that further. That's really going to help you survive this Rumble matchup a lot better compared to past patches. So like the fact that Alorum is reaching into his pool to find the champion that not only I know he's good at, but also is solid for the matchup. We have the Kai'Sa, though, and I feel like we have a really strong identity already for Blue Otter, which is we're going to attack your backline. So I'm expecting to see Soligo try and grab some form of mobile carry mid. Also, I think Talia is very high value right now. Just having the ability to go affect both side lanes, and it can make things a lot harder on an Alistar.
I will say, when we have seen Lynx play the Kai'Sa in the qualifiers, it has been that AP-oriented build where you're throwing out the Prey Seekers back and forth, and so that might be a shift in playstyle. It would be a little bit awkward to see Samikin pick up something like a Lux, because that's a lot of magic damage that you're now putting into your composition, but I feel like something like that could...
He's set enough for. He could be, honestly.
Be something big.
Cinder and Corki are both okay picks into Lux.
There it is. Okay.
That's a good call, Grapes.
So I'm gonna give everybody a bit of a history lesson here. Game 5 of the finals of the first NACL qualifier. It was Blue Otter versus Winthrop. 2-2 was the score, and Samikin locked in this Lux, and boy did he pop the heck off on this champion. He was one-shotting people, finding really nice finds, picking off people. They were down like 3,000, 4,000 gold in that game, and they were able to come all the way back thanks to the picks of Samikin on this Lux champion. Very exciting to see him lock it in again. We'll have a lot of thrown his way. He'll have the Chain of Corruption, he'll have the hooks from Prismal, and now Elise Din locked in for Dardoch.
I wonder if it's something like a Sligo with Sandra kind of reaching back. It's something that Lux can beat in lane. You do have ways to play defense, but no. To be the way, I gotta believe that Samikin is able to play this matchup out better than Sligo just based on experience. Lux is a bit of a lane bully, and this is one that I'm interested to see how much Dardoch's able to A, get involved mid, and then B, Music 5-pick going over to jungle again, really showing how important jungle is in this series, Grapes. What's the answer going to be for Music? Wukong's up.
It's physical damage.
You can't stack armor. I actually do appreciate you bring up physical damage as Wukong's locked in. Kai'Sa, with the Lux and the Rumble showing, I'd be shocked if it's the poke build for Lynx. I think he has to go DPS going into the Sion. And I will say this is one where if Mirage Alliance is able to kind of watch their flanks, the Wukong, Alistar, and Rumble combo can be deadly with a Lux over the top.
Yeah.
But if they're able to find Wukong first or utilize Sion to really clear out their flanks, it is one where this core of Hwei, Varus, and playing off the Lee Sin, who is very mobile and can't get around this, could be good for Mirage Alliance.
Straight front to back, certainly favoring Mirage Alliance as we get towards the later stages. You have such a big front line with Sion and Nautilus and these big backline threats that don't need a ton of assistance other than just space. And so having Dardoch as that X factor, you have a lot of primary engaged. Mirage Alliance would look better in any situation where Blue Otter aren't able to find these flanks. And so it will be up to Rovex and Music, two of the big leaders in terms of, you know, figuring out what the right plays are throughout the game. Watch Music actually play with Samikin's Lux in a POV stream of that NACL Q Finals. You saw how him and Rovex were able to communicate in that game to overcome about a 4,000 gold lead against Winthrop in Game 5. We'll see if it happens now with their season on the line. We're on to the Rift for game number 3.
I like the fact, Grapes, you're bringing up Music and Rovex, how these players are able to play together and play off of each other. As something I talked about a lot in that Nautilus-Braum matchup, is Rovex is likely going to be hooked here. Oh, it wasn't spotted till a little bit later. But I think something that's really big in this matchup is the fact that Nautilus does have that ability to go impact mid. And if I had to pick one of the two junglers to have in terms of impacting mid, I'm taking the Lee Sin over the Wukong, especially in this earlier stage of the game. So really want to see if they can pressure Samikin, because if Lux is left untouched, this is a Wayne Bully pick. It's one where you are able to drop E's Qs, try and chain things together. They buffed up Lux a little bit too recently with her auto attack passives. So you are able to actually chain things together, your abilities. And Samikin, we know him for his artillery mages, was known for the Zoe. His Sway is fantastic. Now on the Lux, we'll see if he can make a big difference as that newcomer.
Taking a look real quick, some housekeeping before we get into this early game. Follow the junglers on their early clears. It is lethal tempo for both Neo and Lynx. That does mean we're probably not going to be seeing the poke build for either. So wanting to make sure they have as much DPS as possible, get a lot of that damage, and specifically for Blue Water, need some physical damage with the Rumble and the Lux in for them.
I will say that I think poke build was an option this game for Neo, but just knowing Neo and Mirage Alliance and just having the space of the Scion, I'm not surprised he didn't go for it. The poke build was not an option for Lynx. You have double magic damage. You have to go for this AD DPS build and try and find a way to deal with this Scion.
Right now, both junglers on the bottom side of the map. Will be Music actually a bit of a reverse clear where he went to Raptors, then blue buff, probably going to path back towards top lane. And see right now, Lawrence actually taking a little bit of trade.
Yeah, Music's doing this just in case there would be a level 3 bot dive, which against an Alistar and a Kaisa, that's a very weak lane early on. So I like this from Music. He is sacrificing some of his own efficiency, but I feel like even though this isn't the plan for Mirage Alliance, this is the right path for Music to try and play defense for his bot lane.
Looks like they're going to be able okay. However, it was again Mirage Alliance's bottom lane hitting level 2 first as the Dredge line came out. Dardoch not in the range for a dive though. He's clearing his topside camps, looking to maybe pull off some other shenanigans mid as Soligo also has push onto Samikin.
Appreciate how Prismal didn't fish for the auto. If you do fish for the auto after the Q, you are at risk to getting knocked under the turret in the Alistar matchup. So, smart play from Prismal, who I remember him when he was playing support for really his Braum, Nautilus, and Rakan. I thought like those were 3 of his strongest champs. So, I thought his Braum a little bit better in the last game than what he was showing in game 1. We'll see if he can be that playmaker on the Nautilus here, as I think impacting mid is going to be very important. That Lux is under pressure early from the way. I must say I'm not too familiar with this matchup, but usually I expect Lux to be able to step up a main bully. That is often against champs that lack the range that Lux has, which Way can uniquely match.
Yeah, a lot of ability, and with Prismal on a timer, potentially could be in trouble. It would be a 3v1 if Dardoch is able to collapse as well. Here comes Prismal. Flash hook does not land, and now it's just Samikin having to flash away from the cripple to be able to survive.
Well played there. As nice sidestep from Samikin, but yeah, Flash was going to be forced in the end. Lawrence actually able to pull this wave. That's not bad. Lauren will be a little bit under pressure. Music is on this side of the map. It's a big decimating smash there from Alorum, who's doing a really nice job playing out this matchup. And man, this is what I love about Alorum. I guess his tank, pool is different, but I feel like Alorum, people just kind of see that and they push him to the side, being like, you know what? He does play the tanks, like that's it, right? Like he doesn't have the skills that it takes to play some of the other champs. While that might be true, whatever champ he pulls out to the Rift, this guy knows inside and out like no one else. And I think that's what really makes him different as a player, as Lawrence burns the flash. Does have Music up here. Alora might actually be in trouble.
The dash in, Alorum.
He's still
I
Scion.
don't know how much damage he has, just let Electro Part 2, and
Got
the
the slow.
Flame Spitter comes out, and it will be first blood. However, Alorum going to try to chase Music down. The Monkey will be able to run on out of there. Not the best death for Alorum to give up first blood.
I mean, it was the right idea. He's trying to kind of play around his window. As we're going to get a replay.
Nice flash.
This is even what I love about Alorum too. Just the fact that he tried to sneak in that E at the end to slow the Wukong when he knew he was going to go down. That almost opened up an angle where he could have turned it around. Is can't even finish the replay. We do have Neo being aggressed upon.
Oh, look at Lynx. He pops the Ghost already. He's going to flash over Prismal to pick up the 2v2 kill. Prismal now has the Dredge line away, and Lynx is going to have all this farm to push on into.
I saw Prismal throw a hook kind of into Narnia. I feel like he was looking to fight for some wards, but he doesn't have Sweeper yet. I don't know what happened there, as that's a 2v2 kill that should not have happened. Look at the CS lead for Neo. That's how this lane's supposed to play out. Varus is supposed to utilize his range to have an advantage, and Nautilus can deter aggression from Alistar. But the fact that Rovex got in there without even burning a flash, that's a problem.
Now on the top side, Lawrence might be in trouble. Remember that flash is down. Dardoch here as well, and it will be the Blue Otter top laner falling, at least in getting the kill.
Good find from Dardoch. That's a good timer. He just got his base off after the first clear, and that's big because Lawrence did burn TP. So now Dardoch can clear up his Gromp, try and get some health back, and we'll see if he goes towards the Grubs. Because Lawrence will have to take that walk back, and they do have a small angle where they could maybe take 1 or 2, not finish the 3. But man, that bot death is really punishing in this one because, again, that's not supposed to happen in this lane. And Kai'Sa, if Kai'Sa does get rolling, does scale so incredibly hard.
Yeah, a lot of angles to get into the backline. That adds to that dive threat that we were talking about with Blue Otter. If they can find a flank with Rovex or Music, Lynx can follow up onto either the Hui or the Varus and really change the course of that fight for the better if you are a fan of these qualifier teams.
Funnily enough, Dardoch, he's not going to choose to contest the Grubs. Instead, Alorum gets back. Alorum's in a really nice spot now in this lane, having the Bombies plus the No Magic Mantle. And with Wukong being on the Grubs, should open up Dardoch to make sure that he can take this Dragon, as Prismal will go in, find a decent trade onto Rovex, and spot priority being in the hands of Mirage Alliance means this Chemtech Dragon should be going over to Dardoch.
Music not in the area. Dardoch also hitting level 6 first, so he's been farming a little bit better than the Wukong has. And that's a good sign so far for Mirage Alliance. They're still controlling the bottom side overall, despite that 2v2 kill going down. And honestly, now that I look around, all the lanes kind of in a good spot. Even Alorum is now ahead in CS.
And that matchup does not get better for Rumble. Once Scion picks up some levels, he can dominate this matchup and really start to push Rumble around. That's only going to be accentuated by the changes that we saw go in Scion's favor, too, with getting those bigger Ws, having more damage on the Qs. So I do think topside is in really good shape for Mirage Alliance. I don't expect Dardoch to spend too much more time up there unless he knows he can get a free kill. Lawrence is missing that flash still, but I think Dardoch is just going to play the rest of the map, and we'll see what happens when the next round of Grubs do spawn. As it's at a timer where Mirage Alliance can't afford to contest both neutral objectives. I think they will be stronger on that side of the map at the time.
For now, I think we're going to slow things down just a little bit, unless Music decides to go for some crazy invade, crazy dive somewhere. But honestly, all Mirage Alliance's lanes are very, very safe at this point. It's going to be up to the team fighting later on, as you said. Samikin staying even in CS against Saligo is interesting, as both of these artillery mages kind of are just shoving waves back and forth. I'd be interested to see if one of them is willing to make an impact down to a side lane, try to get a kill for one of their teammates.
Oh, okay. Gonna try and deny the cannon from Neo, as he was looking to base.
Got it.
We'll just charge up the Q, and I don't think they're gonna hold this wave. Just want to throw out knee. Okay. Okay.
Oh,
good idea. Good idea from
base.
Prismal. Wasn't quite able to cash it in. I think I saw the gold proc, but if it is too late in that base, you still do get it off. So Music able to get back safely. And honestly, just a lot of farm. Other thing I'm looking out for is the first item for Lee Sin. I expect an Eclipse to come out of Dardoch, and I really like this from Lee Sin, as it will be the flash out of Lawrence. Now Alorum can reset this wave, and Dardoch, he was trying to sneak in here. Not going to be able to get in, but I like the look, because that is something they can punish again. And Rumble without flash, that is mincemeat for Lee Sin, as we have already seen.
Got to see when that timer hits again. And Lawrence, in this matchup that he performed really well in against Denethor on the Cassante, maybe struggling a little bit more. This is the timer, though, that Blue Otter now have. No ulti for Alorum available. Dardoch just went back to base. A wave coming under tower with Lawrence having Equalizer. They're going to send Music to the top lane and see if they can pull this dive off.
Lorem can clear this out pretty easily, though.
Right,
okay.
There they go. Nice cancel of the Decimating Smash. A very easy dive. Successfully executed as well for Music and Blue Water.
Yeah, Alorum choosing not to burn Flash. He's going to seal his own fate there, but we will have Dardoch finding Lynx.
Oh, kicks him over the wall. Going to match right back here with the Sonic Wave. Nice headbutt from Rovex to keep his AD carry alive, and Dardoch not going to be able to find the kill.
He does have the Eclipse, so we can continue to press as we see him move forward. He has time to throw a Q at Lynx. Yeah. Rovex got another round of spells, though. We see Prismal. He has 6. Rovex
going under the tower now. Everyone on Mirage Alliance playing super aggressive to try to just keep Lynx out of lane. And there's no collapse just yet. Lawrence does have the teleport if he wants to go to that ward behind Lynx, but I don't think that's going to happen.
You could see, like, Lawrence actually walking out on the hover. I don't mind. He will burn his TP for that angle. I think the big thing there was the fact that Soligo had mid-pry with Samikin has a flash forward. We have action everywhere.
Yeah, Flash will connect on to the depth charge. Lynx will be going down as Neo picks up the kill with the piercing arrow. Unbreakable Will on top of a Rovex. He will not be able to survive. Meanwhile, a solo kill for Soligo as well. That is a big 3-kill swing for Mirage Alliance.
I just want to say, if my Subway sidekick can't be Dardoch Graves, I'm really happy it's Dardoch Lee Sin. That ward hop to make sure he found the Q angle, even after Alistar caught the dredge line, was huge. And it will be 6 grubs going over to Blue Otter, so they do have Grubageddon, but I would much rather have the Dragon and the lead now, not only bot, but also in mid, as Soligo found a solo kill during all that action.
It might not be a lost cause just yet. It's 5 grubs, so you at least get the Void Mites now. For Music, Alorum just checking around to see if anything potentially could happen, and now he's going back in. Hey, this is maybe a fight Alorum could win, but not with Lawrence joining as well, so he's going to be able to get on out of there. That is officially 6 grubs for Blue Water, and that is their 1 win here in this early game.
I'd watch Dardoch. He has Flash up. I'm looking at the solo laners of Blue. All the carries are down Flash. I don't think that he's looking to attack bot. There is a dragon spawning soon. I want to see Dardoch really get up in the face of Lux. That a Lee kick into a Hui combo should be a dead Lux. And for me, Dardoch, this Lee Sin pick, he has such an ability to impact the map. That early Eclipse, like, he did a great job of not only making sure he was farmed, but also took that free kill in the Rumble lane when Lawrence was down Flash. Targets are everywhere for this Lee Sin if he wants to get involved. And Dardoch really has potential to blow this map open for Mirage Alliance.
We'll say, never count out Blue Otter when they have Samikin on this Lux. Casting our minds back to that finals again. Not only were they down like 3,000 or 4,000 gold against Winthrop in that game 5, it was against a full scaling composition. Blue Otter were very early game focused in a similar way that they are right now. And so, things are still possible. Blue Otter knows how to play with the picks that they have in their back pocket. Samikin specifically going to be a big player. Try to find some angles, find some one-shots potentially. But right now, Mirage Alliance, they're going to take the second Drake.
It's really small, but I like how Mirage Alliance pulled this towards the bot side. There was a control ward, and Music had a nice setup towards top, so if they didn't pull that dragon to the correct side of the rift, it would have been tricky. And now Soligo taking the respectful path on the way back, scouting on his way there. Good stuff from Mirage Alliance, too. For me, we did lack some of that discipline in game 1, which ended up having that game go so wayward when they had the early game comp, they needed to do something. This time around, though, it really feels like Mirage Alliance have cleaned up some of the mistakes that we saw from them and are looking to advance in this lower bracket for the promotion tournaments. Of course, if you are just tuning in or don't know the format of this, this is a do-or-die game for both of these teams. It is a double elimination bracket. They both dropped earlier on in the tournament. And this game is to win the right to face the winner of our upcoming best of 3 in Winthrop versus Ole Miss.
Make sure to stay tuned to that one as well. I know that we're still in this game 3, but the collegiate banger between those two teams, you are not going to want to miss it. We see Alorum now using the Unstoppable Onslaught to clear the wave and maybe get a little bit more onto Lynx. Decimating Smash not going to land the knockup, and it will just be Rovex to disengage.
Didn't land the knockup, but he knew Alistar was coming in, so he had to drop the Q and still got the damage down. These are the little things I love about Alorum, as he loves to min-max his champions. I think he does so very well. And oftentimes doesn't get credit for that because he doesn't play the flashy ones. And that said, this is a great move from Alorum. This lane swap from Mirage Alliance is very effective. They're going to funnel the Varus, and Sion can actually sit under this turret and pick up this farm. Look at Lawrence. He was here, but he had the base. He was relegated to really heading back and not being safe because he's so squishy on this Rumble, whereas Sion just simply cannot be moved.
And now, instead of going back bot, Lawrence joining his team around the Rift Herald. They've tried to cut off Prismal and Dardoch and going to grab control of the objective again.
it still is a great move from Dardoch and Prismo, because like what a lot of players call it is that they tickle the Rift Herald. So they got the Rift Herald to come all the way out, and yes, it's going to reset. Yes, it's going to go over to Blue Otter, but during that, all the time they bought for Alorum, he's going to pick up a turret on the bot side. So because they stalled out Rift like that, they still remain ahead of the play.
At the end of the day, the most now that Blue Otter can get is an even trade. It's like a tower for a tower because Alorum already picked it up. He's pushing another wave under this inner turret. That allows for Lawrence to lose some more farm, and you can see Alorum actually really taking over in the gold department.
They made the lane swap to funnel Neo, but again, you cannot move Alorum in that side lane. He is the Scion, so I love this call from Mirage Alliance. With Scion, you have a lot of unique opportunities for you to play the map, just given how tanky this champ is and how much wave clear he packs. And I love to see Alorum and Mirage Alliance taking advantage of this in this do or die game 3.
Still a lot of time until that next dragon spawns, but I would imagine Blue Otter want to set up in a position where they could contest and not give away soul point for free. So right now we're looking at some item spikes, waiting for Lynx to maybe get another item on the board. Music is actually getting close to that second one. Probably a cleaver to try to burst Alorum down. But right now, it does seem like Mirage Alliance in a 5v5 do win. And so it will be up to Blue Otter to find the angles. And that's kind of how we set up these compositions before the game actually began.
You can see him looking for any sort of angle on the Neo, but Neo playing very respectfully. And yeah, I think that it's about the Wombo and getting Kai'Sa into this backline and trying to find executes. But look at the leads that we have for Mirage Alliance just as a team. On the scoreboard, you can see Neo, he's up a lot of CS and up in items, also starting to become up in levels. And that's really big if you're looking to try and execute people. If you are Blue Otter, which is kind of what you want to do with the Lux Kai'Sa, right? Get up in levels can be tough, and now Lawrence is going to burn the flash. Still gets knocked up. Dardoch.
Well, gets the damage on top of him. Sonic Wave in. Equalizer was issued, but not before Lawrence goes down. Samukin trying to teleport in. Final Spark not just used, but he might get one shot before anything begins. He pops the Final Spark. Alarm has to flash away. Music now doing a lot of damage onto Prismal. And Lynx finds a shutdown on the other side against Neo. So now Blue Otter in a good position to win this fight. Alarm going to get headbutted away. Lynx will survive. It's a double kill for the Kai'Sa, and the Qualifier squad's back in this game.
There was no TP on Saligo, so Mirage Alliance going for this play. They end up being outnumbered because of the TP from Samukin, who played that skirmish wonderfully on the Lux.
I want to see a replay of how Samukin was able to get all of his damage down in that fight, because he TP'd into the middle of two melee champions down there. We're going to get it one in the picture-in-picture right here.
Yeah. As, might have a full one coming out. Yeah, here we go. Shout out to our observers for this one. As you can see, yes, the Rumble goes down, but Samukin finds the double root and ends up just taking him out from there. Alorum, the flash was good, but meanwhile, Lynx, he got onto Neo, finds the one tap as the Kai'Sa. That, for me, is the real significant part of the fight, because if Neo's actually able to rotate with the Scion, maybe there's an angle where Mirage Alliance can get everyone out. Not the case, though, and that's a lot of gold that just went over to Lynx.
Yeah, Varus, stronger AD carry in the 5v5, but in an isolated situation, Lynx able to collapse. He's now caught up and even in gold against Mirage Alliance AD carry. Blue Otter popping the Rift Herald mid lane. I don't know if they're going to get a crash off, but at least getting some priority in the lane before this third dragon spawns. However, Mirage Alliance doing a good job to clear things out, and they are the ones to get priority around the pit first.
Sligo's doing a really nice job with the way. You do have more options for how you want to be an artillery mage compared to the Lux, which is kind of nice. So, Way taking good advantage of some of these scenarios. They're going to find a free route, a nice chunk.
Rovex is low, but look at Music on the other side. That's a four-man Cyclone! Music combined with the rest of the artillery, able to make it a 1-for-1 for now. Alarm on the back line is doing a lot of work. Neo's still alive as well. Samukin has a Sonic Wave on top of him. Dardoch gonna dash onto the Lux. He's forced to flash away. Prismo flashes, hook goes wide, and now Lynx can continue to rain hell onto this Mirage Alliance team. The health bars are low as Dardoch, Neo, and Alarm have to run for the hills. It's a 3-for-3, 2-for-2 for now in terms of kills. Lawrence landing in the Electro Harpoon, Lynx the killer instinct, picking up 2 more kills. Dardoch stuck in a 1v2, but Samukin finishes the job, and it's an ace for Blue Otter.
That flash follow from Rovex to capitalize on the angle from Music was massive in this fight. As we get another look, yes, it's a nice chunk of Rovex, but the insta follow as Music gets a huge knock if they one-shot the play, and this is where I thought Neo was going to be fine. Alorum's angle, the backside's great. They're able to really make some progress, but between the Hextech calls and the Lux damage over the wall, Brisbal, yeah, I mean, that hook just went straight into the wall. Wasn't able to get Samikin. I don't even know if Dardoch had the Sonic Wave up to follow up from there. So once that goes wide, Dardoch lead too deep, and Alorum was trying to set up the Q in case they overchase, but that Decimating Smash was within full vision, and that's what enabled Lynx to kind of get around the wall, make sure he can clean up that fight. That's a big win again for Blue Otter.
I mean, Samikin had the flashy play. Lynx now has 5 kills. Lynx made the flashy plays, but Samikin on that Lux, man. What a sequence there. Flashing away from Dardoch. He's looking for a one-shot potentially onto Soligo. He might not be able to find as the Malignus not able to take him down as he gets caught in a 1v3.
Rovex now on the angle. If Dardoch finds him early, that Alistar could be in trouble too. Not the case. Good pick set up as a bounce back coming in from Mirage Alliance. I think they need to continue to push the pace of the game. Mirage Alliance, they had a 4K gold lead in this one. Blue Otter have fought their way back into this grave. So I feel like it was one bad take from Mirage Alliance for that bot inner turret they were overreaching for. But that fight from them was fantastic. I want to see Mirage Alliance continue to try and skirmish with the Lee Sin plus the Nautilus. I think that there are too many guaranteed kills within that combo that they can try to find. As you can see, Dardoch just fishing to see if Lynx is going for a Raptor or anything like that. But this team fight from Blue Otter, you were kind of highlighting it. The wombo they can do with the Lux, and that's a team that was in sync. They did a great job of executing it around that Dragon fight.
And I actually like their chances are around for these fights, I should say, around these neutral objectives, right? Because there's so much open space. Music had a good position for a flank over the wall. Rovex followed up nicely. That is the team fight that Blue Otter are looking for in their composition.
I mean, this Scion is a huge front line, but in the end, if the Wukong and the Alistar are able to get onto the two immobile carries of Hui and Varus, Rumble and Lux can strike from anywhere on the map. So the fact that Blue Otter were able to sync that up, that was a massive wombo from them. And this game, all of a sudden, this is a 50-50 game 3, Graves. I mean, this is real tense between these two teams in a do-or-die game.
Couldn't expect anything less from the promotion tournament here.
This is what I miss about OQs, man. You get some crazy games. Everything's high stakes.
Yeah. We're talking about this in game 1, but we're a little bit above the quality, but we still get all the fun, right? All the big team fights, all the
fun.
The crazy...
Every game matters.
Yeah. The stakes continuing to grow here as one of these teams will have their season end at the conclusion of this game. It's Blue Otter, who won the first qualifier, were in a great position and then ended up dropping in the semifinals to Ole Miss, or Mirage Alliance, who are looking for some semblance of success in their season after having a very rough spring regular season in their first attempt at Tier 2 play.
Well, we have a rare moment of quietness on the Rift, as Prismal might be looking for Rovex. I will say Dardoch's still very strong, and Rovex gonna have to hack flash out here. Oh, it gets canceled. I just hit the Baron and walk away. Low-key, hit the Baron and walk away.
A little bit of trouble, but look at the damage over the top. The final spark takes Dardoch down. That's a shutdown. Going over to Lynx with the help of Samikin. Root just barely not going to be able to connect. Prismo getting hit up by a slow. Oh, there comes the equalizer. A big chunk of long-range damage is going to force Mirage Alliance off the pit and send Blue Otter straight to the Baron pit.
Soligo's not resetting as the TP available to him. Not the case as Samikin is looking. Alorum eating everything he can. Wait, what?
Look at the Hex Gate. Rovex looking for an engaged two-man knock-up. There comes the Killer Instinct with another final spark. Blue Otter League are taking over this game. They get 2 more kills. They're going to go right back to the Baron.
That was massive from Rovex. The aftershot makes it so he's not even a sacrificial cow, but that wombo from Blue Otter was huge. And for me in the replay, if we see the hook on the Alistar, the Hex Splash is down. They could actually aggro the Baron and walk away. Hit the Baron and walk away. Baron does damage to Alistar. You don't have to commit like this if you're Dardoch. Instead, he lines himself up for a free Alistar combo. Lux comes in over the wall. And then this equalizer from Lawrence, yeah, it's no kills, but look at all the damage gets down on the 2 immobile carries of Mirage Alliance. And from here, this fight's impossible. Varus can't get in range to auto. Soligo's still wrapping around.
Look at this.
And then Rovex. Man, what a port coming out from him. I thought Prismo might be able to cancel, but nope. The Q hits right away. Another final spark from Samikin. It's massive, and Blue Otter have taken full control over this game.
Told you, man. Samikin, he's dangerous on this Lux. The follow-up he's had with Rovex in this game so far has been incredible. As I say that, we're right back to a tense game state, despite the Baron buff being in the hands of Blue Otter. Mirage Alliance still want to contest this Dragon. Music has to use the clone to dash away. But it looks like this second Drake will be in the hands of our qualifier representatives.
This comp is so fun, man. It's like the orbital strike comp. You got the knockups, you got the damage coming in, Lynx over the top, I should say. Doing his best impersonation of Lens, I must say as well. One of the better Kai'Sa players that we had.
Yeah.
I remember him carrying a couple clutch games. Okay, that's a nice Verisol onto Lynx. There will be a lot of damage onto the Kai'Sas. Lynx might get forced out before this dragon.
Here comes Alorum. He dashes in. Rovex not going to be able to find the Pulverize. Equalizer just going to be chunking out a couple of members, but Mirage Alliance are going to get out just fine. Samikin, Root does not connect. Depth Charge lands onto the Rumble, but there's no follow-up so far for the Camels. They're looking for another hook. Not going to connect from Prismal. Things are very tense. Still, all 5 players are alive. No teleports available for the Blue Water Soul Laner, so they cannot reset.
You can see the poke, though, on the Dardoch as he returns the wave to try and get some health. Mirage Alliance are just going to play in the wave. They're
look
scared.
at They got Neo! There comes Music as well! It is Samikin to start the fight! It is Music to finish it! 2 more kills for Blue! They're looking for a third as Alorum is off, running back home to his base. But I don't know if he's going to be able to get that far. Blue are going to let him escape. Instead, they send their sights to the inner turrets, and they are getting closer and closer to moving on in this promotion tournament.
I thought Music was on Vision. I don't know how Mirage Alliance lost him in the sauce there, but no one was marking the Wukong. He gets in, the follow-up from Lynx. It's instant, and Blue Otter really emerging with better team play. This is a roster that has been playing a little bit longer, Grapes, and I feel like that's been the difference. Their executes have been really clean.
And all of that starting, again, from a root from Samikin. This is the new kid in his rookie split, taking games off of players that have been in the LCS for the last 5 or 6 years. They get their second dragon. Samikin, the one to start that fight, and then, as you said, the coordination from this group of 5 has just been incredible this whole series.
Like, the wild thing for me is that I thought they were doomed in that fight because it was really the one fight we saw where they didn't find that coordination. The ults weren't synced up, but then the back half to find the angle from Music, they're still finding angles to actually play out this comp, and I gotta say, Mirage Alliance, they're here, but they walked over Vision on the way here. Soligo's about to do the same. They're in trouble.
Music dashes in. Already another 2-man pull. Big combo over the top. Dardoch is one shot before he can issue a single spell. Lynx goes godlike. Music is going to get taken down, but here comes Lynx. Killer Instinct forward. Neo will get dropped. It's a double kill for the Kai'Sa. Looking for a third right now, but so far, Alorum is going to be the main target. Prisma will go down to Samikin. They are still trying to chase the Scion. Rovex will finally finish off Soligo. It's another 4-for-1 in favor of Blue.
They walked right over a control ward to try and set up that play. Blue Otter were playing with full information. They punish Mirage Alliance yet again. And this goal lead has shifted 15k in their favor. It's a significant lead now for Blue Otter. This comp does have some scaling aspects, especially with that Kai'Sa Grapes. And it's looking like Mirage Alliance, right when they thought they were kind of getting into this tournament, right when we thought they were just going to cruise on to lower bracket, continue this run, Blue Otter have shifted everything on its head around that Baron, and now they're in total control.
But look at this fight.
It was all under
the combo. Samikin just taking down Rovex, taking down Dardoch. The follow-up from Lynx here in this fight as well was really, really good.
It's kind of a free fight for them from there. And the one thing I really like is that, yeah, Scion's so tough to move, but Kai'Sa does have ways to play around the Scion. And when you have all these knockups, too, to just buy space for Lynx, now that you have a gold lead, you can really continue to fight, continue to push ahead with Kai'Sa, because if people are down summoner spells, Kai'Sa is so good at attacking in the backline. Exactly what we've seen here from Blue Otter. And Mirage Alliance, they're going to need a miracle to pull this one back, Grapes. This is going to be so tough for them to move on. Again, a team that many of us, myself included, had promoting back into Challengers League, looking to fall out with 2 series losses, 1 game win, and what I would say is still, even after day 1, most people are considering this a surprise upset.
Yeah, definitely. And we've seen pieces of this roster still look good, right? Alorum was able to hold his ground, have a good laning phase in this game 3. Dardoch and Lee Sin look great. We've seen some amazing moments out of Neo and Soligo, especially in that second game on the Nico, but not all of it connecting enough just yet. And that always is kind of the question mark that have to ask yourself when you're putting together this new pickup roster against a team, as we said a couple of minutes ago, Cubby, that has been playing together since January.
I mean, honestly, I'm very surprised about this. Blue Otter, they've really impressed me today. I thought after the games I saw from them with Winthrop, I wasn't exactly sure if this team was informed to take this, but this comp that you integrate, so Lux that they've fallen back on in clutch situations before, has been so big here from Samikin. And honestly, I just got to praise Thanks as well. Rovex, I think these two are playing off each other so well. In the bot lane, Music's finding great angles. This really does feel like a team that is synced up playing as 5. And now this Baron's going to melt. They have to walk into the Alistar of the Rumble. And I don't even know if Mirage Alliance is going to get here in time.
They're going to have to try. Dardoch in range potentially for Sonic Wave, but Blue Otter just looking for the fight. So Ligo gets one shot by the Equalizer Final Spark combination, and now Blue Otter are off to the races. Samikin getting targeted by Neo, who's doing a big job in this fight. Rovex gonna flash in and take the 80 carry down. It's 3-0. Prismo might make it 4. The Prey Seeker over the top for Lynx will get himself a double kill, and Blue Otter are marching towards the end.
And ladies and gentlemen, the Blue Otters have just made this tournament quite interesting, taking down one of the favorites to re-promote back in the Challengers League. Mirage Alliance, the Camels fall to the Otters, and the Blue Otters run, it continues.
Valorum still trying his best in a 1v5, but he's just a Scion. He cannot do anything against Blue Otter. The first team is eliminated here in the promotion tournament, and it's an NACL representative that gets the door shut on him. Blue Otters moving on.
That was a crazy game. I really felt like at one point, I mean, Mirage Alliance, they had 3K, 4K gold lead. They were playing the map well. And that bot inner play that they went for, Sadigo couldn't join the fight. They opted into a fight that was down numbers. And then Dardoch, again, like, canceling Hex Flash with him and Prismal with the Alistar in the pit, that was great. But he walked right up, opened himself up to a combo. In that fight with Summoner Spells already being missing from that bot lane fight, it was so easy for Blue Otters to really force the pace of that, wipe everything away, all the hard work that Mirage Alliance put into the first 20 minutes of the game. And it feels like with a snap of the fingers, I mean, I was expecting Mirage Alliance to get through. I really felt like at one point of the game, they were in a winning state. But those two plays, the entire game turns on its head, and Blue Otters did not let up the pressure from there.
They were the favorites in many people's brackets. Many had them moving on in this matchup specifically. But Blue Otter, hey, they went back to their best moment throughout the entire split, and that was the Game 5 Samikin Lux. He really showed up here in this game. Elimination at the line. It'll be Blue Otter advancing to have another shot at promoting into the NACL. We're going to head to a short break. When we come back, we'll be talking to one of the winners here from Blue Otter. Stay tuned.
Introducing the new Footlong Sidekicks at Subway. Try the warm and delicious Footlong Cookie, Footlong Pretzel, or Footlong Churro.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Rally Cry post-game interview. We are joined by the jungler of Blue Otter Music, who just eliminated the NACL's first representative here in the promotion tournament. Music, first I want to talk to you about this Game 3 draft because me following the qualifiers a little bit. I remember the Game 5 draft that you had against Winthrop in the grand finals of qualifier number 1. You had Samikin on the Lux, you had Lynx on this short-range carry. Was that kind of what you were harking back to, or just walk me through how you came up with this composition?
It was just more about comfort. We know Samikin's Lux is pretty correct, and he was like calling for it, so we just trusted him to pick it. With like how the mid bands and pulls were thinned out, so I felt like it would be a good angle.
Yeah, and I gotta say, for me, that game really turned when you guys caught Dardoch in the Baron pit. Like, what was that moment for you guys like? Because that was a tough game. There was a big fight around bot inner turret that you guys kind of managed to turn with the numbers, but after that, like, this game just turned on its head so quickly. You guys really pushed the pace without sums. Like, what was the urgency like for you guys in comms to, like, really kind of get things in your favor starting around that Baron?
There wasn't a lot of urgency. I feel like we just wanted to play for vision after the third Drake fight where we kind of started snowballing a bit easier into mid game. So we knew we were strong. Even though they had even items, we knew we could just take fights because their champs are not good into ours without sums. And then, you know, we were just going for vision, and then, I mean, Dardoch went too deep, got caught by Lux binding, got one shot, and then we knew we could just keep baiting them for Baron, and we can just play it slow. We don't have to just immediately start it. Rather, start it in turn, and if they actually contest or lose a fight, then the game's over anyways, because they'll die. So that was our kind of mindset. We were on the same page.
Well, Music, I want to help you get the viewers up to speed with, you know, what you've been up to this offseason and what came in terms of the process of putting together this team, because, you know, we've been following for the qualifiers, but what have you been up to since leaving the NACL, and what brought this group of 5 together, and what's brought you so much success?
Honestly, I haven't been playing as much solo queue. I've been watching a lot of VODs and just thinking to myself stuff to do that I haven't been thinking about in game. I've been trying to improve my shot calling abilities and creativity in early game. I feel like I was kind of lacking that. And I feel like I've definitely improved on that during this, like, you know, split. So I'm happy with that. And regarding the team, it was just a bunch of friends with friends, and decided to like make a team together. And we didn't really have a mid, and I knew Samikin was really good, and because I played against him a lot in the offseason, so I vouched for him being a good player, and we can get him on their team, and we run a shot at the Okies and see how it go.
Well, hey, that's great. And I know that the last run in Challengers League, you know, you guys didn't re-qualify. What would it mean for you? I know that you have a kind of a long career, you know, both in EU and now here in NA. What would it mean for you to kind of make it back into this league and qualify with your play?
It would be nice to just prove that we're good enough to be in the NACL. I think everybody on this team is NACL caliber for sure. So I'm not like trying to prove it to myself or to others. I know what we're worth. I think like we're the best team in this promotion tournament if we play like the way we play. I think we just fumble sometimes and then the games become hard. I think when we're consistent, we are a very, very scary team. And we do have a positive scrim record into NACL teams as well. So it's like not like we are losing games. We're very confident how we play. Just have to play correctly.
Well, Music, before I give you your shout-outs, previewing our next series here, it's Ole Miss versus Winthrop. I know you have some history with both of them. Which one of them would you want more revenge on to play against in a couple of days?
I want more revenge against Ole Miss, if I'm being honest. I think we were frauds that day, and I think they're frauds, and we're going to prove it, that they're the bigger frauds than us, and we're going to take them down. So I hope we get a rematch against Ole Miss.
All right. Well, hey, Music, before I let you go, anything else you want to say or leave us with?
I mean, yeah. I mean, last time I played against Dardoch, he was support and he beat me. But every other time when he played against me jungle, he lost. So, just saying, maybe support's the better role to play.
Maybe a suggestion back to the other role that he was playing. Okay, that's a good thing to keep in mind. Thank you very much, Music. Best of luck moving forward in the promotion tournament. And we're going to take a short break, and as soon as we come back, we will have our next series on the docket, a collegiate bloodbath between Winthrop and Ole Miss. Stay tuned.
Introducing the new foot-long sidekicks at Subway. Try the warm and delicious foot-long cookie, foot-long pretzel, or foot-long churro.